हेलो एवरीवन। आज जो पोएम हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं दैट इज़ द वेरी फेमस पोएम द सॉलिटरी रीपर, रिटन बाय द वेरी फेमस पोएट विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ। विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ वॉज अ वेरी फेमस पोएट ऑफ द रोमांटिक पीरियड और इन्होंने बहुत सारी अच्छी अच्छी पोएम्स लिखे हैं, लेकिन आज हम लोग सिर्फ वॉच करेंगे दिस पोएम। तो लास्ट तक बने रहिएगा, चैनल को लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करिएगा। तो अब हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं आज की पोएम द सॉलिटरी रीपर। इट इज़ अ बैलेड और अ लिरिकल पोएम। इट वॉज रिटन इन 1805 and published in 1807. It was included in Poems in 2 volumes of 1807. It has 4 stanzas and each stanza has 8 lines. It is a nature poem. It is written in an iambic tetrameter. It has a rhyming scheme of AB, AB, CC, DD. The subtitle of the poem is The Highland Lass. It is imaginative and pictorial representation of the nature. और जो बैकग्राउंड है पोएम लिखने का कि पोएट जो फर्स्ट टाइम टूर पे गए थे स्कॉटलैंड अलॉन्ग विद हिज सिस्टर डॉर्थी इन 1803, तो जब ये नेचर की ब्यूटी को देखे तो एंड he went through that reaper, he wrote this poem. So let's start the poem The Solitary Reaper. Behold her, single in the field, you solitary Highland lass. Listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. In the first paragraph or the first 4 lines of the poem, the poet is captivated or engaged with the song of the Highland girl. Highland lass means Highland girl, and who was all alone in the field. She was singing and reaping in the field, and the deep valley was also overflowing with the sound. It was also captivated with the sound. No nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling, however, was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird. Here in the particular lines, the poet is describing about the 2 birds, nightingale and cuckoo. आपकी नाइटिंगल भी इतनी अच्छी सिंगिंग नहीं की जब वियरी बैंड्स जो ट्रैवलर्स थे, जो बहुत ज़्यादा टायर्ड रहते थे, उनका भी इतने अच्छे से उन्होंने वेलकम नहीं किया. दोज हु वे कमिंग फ्रॉम द वेरी शेडेड हॉन्टेड प्लेस, हॉन्टेड वेरी साइलेंट प्लेस रहती थी फ्रॉम द अरेबियन सैड. इवन अ वॉइस सो थ्रिलिंग, थ्रिलिंग मीन्स एक्साइटेड, हाउ वॉज हर्ड इन स्प्रिंग टाइम फ्रॉम द कुकू बर्ड. और इस टाइप की थोड़ी सी एक्साइटेड वॉइस, इतनी भी एक्साइटेड नहीं कि इट कैन मैच दिस ब्यूटिफुल song of the Highland girl. Will one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old unhappy far off things. In the next lines, the poet is asking, what does she sings? Maybe now the poet is assuming the plaintive numbers flow. She is singing in a very sad tone of the past things that happened to her, which made her very unhappy, and battles long ago, or there would have been any sort of battles in the long past which have brought natural sorrow, loss or pain, and which would have brought natural sorrow, loss or pain, which is still in the memory of the Highland girl, that has been and may be again. And the poet is feeling that there would be any type of bad things that would have occurred in the life of that little girl, and still the memory is there in the mind, and she feels that it can be happened again, or there is a possibility in the future. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more.
I was so much captivated by the song of that little girl, the Highland girl, who was reaping and singing all alone in the field. I was standing there in a motionless, means without wishing to move further. But when I mounted up the hill, when I went away from there, when I left that place, still that music is in my heart. Still, the poet could not forget that song, and it will always be in his heart. Whenever he would be sitting silently, he tried to recall that song, and the pain, the sorrow which was in the heart of that Highland girl made the poet very empathetic towards her, and it had a deep root feelings in the heart of the poet. So I think अब आपके सारे पॉइंट्स इस पर्टिकुलर पोएम से एग्ज़ाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू वेरी क्लियर होंगे. थैंक यू.